Hello, this is another review for Transformers. This is Titans Returns Deluxe Class Hot Rod, not Rodimus, not Rodimus Major, Hot Rod. Finally. And, well, it's a futuristic-esque sports car thing with triple pipes on the side and everything. And, well, it rolls really well. It's like the color of red here. It's a very nice shade of red, in my opinion. Looks really good. There's a nice transparent blue cockpit with, of course, a seat for a Titan Master if it actually pops open. There, see, Titan Master. And that one is, his name is Firedrive. One thing I will complain about a little bit, this mode doesn't always, right here, this cockpit doesn't, if you've noticed, it doesn't always like to tab in totally. It likes to pop back out, and sometimes when you tab it in, it'll start popping other things out. It's a little frustrating, but usually if you hold it in you're gentle and hold it in, and it will kind of go in with it. It comes, of course, with two guns, which can combine into a single gun. And it's interesting interlocking mechanism, which you haven't seen on other Titans Returns. It kind of, you have to come in at an angle and kind of tab it in correctly, or else it doesn't want to. But it locks in very solid. And of course, Titans Master can, in fact, just sit inside, and he can be attached to the front like many other hot rods, and like many other hot rods, it looks a little ridiculous. Yay! Okay, I don't like that, but whatever, you gotta have a battle mode because reasons, I guess. Just to kind of compare him, here he is with the, well, G1, or this is actually the reissue from several years ago. Here is Classics Hot Rod, which is probably the one that most people are going to be looking out for. And just for the heck of it, here is Masterpiece MP28 Hot Rod. They're all roughly the same size, with the G1 being the smallest here. A lot of people, of course, are going to be wondering, is the new Hot Rod worth replacing Classics Hot Rod there? Honestly, between the two, in alt mode, they kind of both have their strengths and weaknesses. This is a much darker shade of red. This is the original release, Classics Hot Rod. This is clearly better than the Battle in Space one, which is not great looking. I like this one has the yellow versus the orange on this. It's more true to Hot Rod. This one is slightly wider. Well, this one's got a slightly wider spoiler. This one's got a slightly wider body. This on alt mode, honestly, it kind of is either one for me in alt mode. I can take either one, and I like them both in alt mode. But I'll get back to that comparison in a bit. But there's that. And to transform him, start off, spoiler, comes up, the whole back section, because the spoiler tabs in, which is actually a nice little bit. That tabs in right there. I like to right here pull out the arms, and then the legs, split apart, then fold them down, and spin the whole waist around. Fold the feet down, and then collapse these into the back, which fill in the holes. And then up here, fold this down, and fold this around. Make sure the shoulders all the way down. Shoulders, I like to unlock the elbows here, and then fold out the hands. They actually don't go in an angle, so it's fine if they don't go all the way in. And then take this, spin it around, and then it'll tab in right there in those notches. There's the body done. Of course, here's man, I can never remember his name. Firedrive. Wow, keep wanting to say Fire Blast. We have Firedrive here. Again, same problem as a lot of the other ones. Unpainted gray, so it's kind of but again, transforms the same as everything else. Mine doesn't always like to go in nice and easy. It likes to kind of spin around before it goes in, which is kind of frustrating. But anyway, that's his head. And yeah, it's a good look of, it's clearly Hot Rod. Of course, you got a little bit of gray sticking out, but it's Hot Rod. I think he looks good. Of course, again, weapons. You can either hold it same or in both hands, like is kind of an homage to his original G1 self. Looks good. Of course, articulation. Once again, Titan Master, so head's on a ball joint with a bit of range there. Shoulders are nice and high, so anyway, though, ball joints in the shoulders, so lots of articulation all around. These can help, I guess, but again, looks a little silly. Elbows, 90 degrees. Only goes outward that far. That's the swivel does. That's where it stops. You can go inward, and same thing on the inside, just stops at 180 degrees, and we'll just ignore that for now. Waist, at least he has a swivel. Nice full 360 degree. Hips go way out and forward and back, no hindrance there. Thighs, nice swivel. Knees, bends that far, but if you untransform it a bit, if you really want to, you can get a serious deep bend, but that involves untransforming it. But you can get one if you want. And feet can move forward a tiny bit, but that's not really helpful in most cases. But it can be helpful in a handful of poses. Let me get this back in. There we go. Do not want to go in. All right, as a quick comparison to his other iterations, again, here he is with G1 Hot Rod. And, of course, Classics Rodimus. And just, for the heck of it, Masterpiece Hot Rod, who is out of shot. And, yeah, it looks good. I mean, I like Hot Rod a lot. I guess I know there's kind of divisive in the fandom, but I like Hot Rod. This is where I think the new Titans Return version outshines the old classic Rodimus. And it comes down to, well, a couple things. Again, colors. This guy's he's bigger than the old classics one. Just a good chunk taller. I mean, that's just easily just taller. And here's the other thing. Classics Rodimus has always been posable in theory. I mean, you got the basic stuff like that, but then you got, you come down here to the legs and that's it. You try to move the legs and it's kind of stuck at this weird sort of pseudo squatting pose no matter what because of just how he transforms. Because of all of this stuff and it's just a smaller size, I think Titans Return Hot Rod here is the better figure for your, I guess, collection if you can only have one or the other. I think he's a good replacement for this one, honestly. Just overall, I think he does a better job. I think it's a better red overall, even though, yes, it's brighter than the original G1 version, but the G1 version was kind of weird anyway, and especially considering, this guy is definitely doesn't match any of them. But I think overall, Titans Return Hot Rod is a great, especially if you didn't get classics in the first place. This is easily don't even bother if you didn't get classics. I say don't bother. You just get the Titans Return. If you are deciding, again, I think Titans Return is a better thing. Yes, there's people out there who will say classics, and I can see their reasoning, but I'm not one of them. I just think Titans Return is a really good replacement for Hot Rod, and it should be in your collection. And yes, the spoiler, you can barely see the spoiler now, but honestly, that doesn't bother me that much. I mean, he still looks like Hot Rod to me. But anyway, that has been my review of Titans Return Hot Rod.